everyone. Welcome to another episode of Hoy and Tomorrow. I'm Veronica.
Hello, I'm Maribel.
And we're so excited to talk today about women's empowerment and also
Novelas.
Yes.
We grew up with them, our parents grew up with them, and they shaped so much about how we view the world and how we view other women.
Yeah, and we wanted to talk about how important it is really to curate what you watch and curate your mind and your thoughts so that you can be a more positive person and also just basically show the contrast between what novelas showed and what it looks like when you're not affected by that kind of let's say that type of media.
Yeah. So I grew up watching novelas because they were in Spanish, and my mom and family members watched novelas too. And at the time, I thought that was life. That was the adult life. It was like this rivalry and this drama.
Yeah.
And if I was gonna fit in, or if I was gonna be someone who meant something, I had to act like them.
Yeah. For me, it was a lot of looking a certain way, and my mom would always say to take notes basically of how la gente rica would decorate their house and how do they dress, how do they talk. So she would have me notice those types of things so that I could learn how to be of a different, socio-economic class.
Caliber.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So she used it as a little bit of a school for us also. But we used to watch them. But I just remember thinking I always wanted to be the really hot girl, the one that everybody wanted, and there was something always kind of thrilling about the la mala and
about the villain, right? I know. I used to watch this novela called Aguitas de Color de Rosa, and I was more wanting to be the villain because she was more skillful in ice skating.
Yeah.
And she was just more real to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny, but. I remember some scenes so distinctively. There was this one scene, I don't even remember what novela it was, but it was a woman who died, but then she didn't die because then she was, that kind of event, she was alive. And she was writing venganza, and she was saying venganza, which means, what is
vengeance?
Vengeance, or
or getting
payback.
Getting even, or
And I just remember that scene so distinctive because it was so intense. I was like, wow, she just kept saying venganza, revenge, and it's that stays in your mind as a child. So then you think that's how things should be, and then when somebody does you wrong, you feel well, it's time for venganza. Yeah,
it's time. How could they do that to me?
Yeah.
And what am I gonna do to spite them and I'll show them that kind of behavior and that attitude and that way of being where it was always it really was fight or flight or freeze kind of scenarios. There's very, very high emotion, high drama, and we do get used to that. So, going into the working world or going into college and being around people who didn't watch novelas and weren't wired that way, it was a big difference from what I was used to, because everything for us was pretty dramatic. We do talk kind of loud. We're very animated, and so it just seemed that's part of who we are.
Yeah, I remember sometimes wanting to get even or telling on someone for something, and then them being why are you doing that? I don't get it. And that's not very nice. And I used to be oh, I guess they don't get it because they weren't watching novelas.
Yeah.
But you realize
because people aren't really like that.
But in reality, as we mature and get older and work on ourselves, it's, I think, realizing that when it feels like someone does you wrong, there's no power in trying to get even.
Right. That's power. A huge waste of energy.
Yeah.
And control is an illusion, as the novelas also show you. I think that the bad guys always wanted to control a certain outcome or a certain situation, and indubitably something would go wrong. So we do know that control is an illusion, but I would say just being really aware of how that kind of action on the screen and the emotional response that it incites, and being really aware of that. And if you have little kids at home, also thinking about what are you watching in front of them? What are they watching? Because that's how they're being programmed at a very young age.
Yeah, and also how is it shaping their worldview and their interactions, their social interactions with people?
Yeah.
Because, you know, all that we saw, the drama, the rivalry, especially among women.
Oh, yeah.
Women were always fighting, always competing, always trying to be better than the other. And so that sort of, for me, became a culture of like me wanting to be competitive and wanting to be better. And it's like, honestly, there's no such thing. There just isn't. Like, we're all going to die one day.
Yeah.
We're all, you know, and I think there's more empowerment and working together and creating together and empowering each other. Mm-hmm. And it's not something that's, I think, instinctive. I think it's counterintuitive to see things that way.
Right.
But it's so beautiful when you're able to just get into that space of working with other women.
Yeah. I think that novelas feed into this false narrative that women don't like helping other women and that we don't have each other's backs and that there's always this underlying rivalry, like who's the prettiest, who's the smartest, who's the most accomplished and all this stuff. And
who's going to get the man?
That's, you know, the story of our lives. And so just what we want to do is shed light on how that type of language impacts us and how it does have a big effect on people who watch it, like especially the little kids, and how our nervous system gets wired. And so just being aware of it, like even now I heard, you know, one of my friends who's an attorney was saying that, like, oh, well, women don't like working together. Women don't like helping each other. And I was like...
It's still a narrative that's around. And I think that for a lot of people, it's still a reality in the way they view the world and perceive the world. Yeah. It's going to take us, meaning all of us, to change that narrative and to take the action to back that new narrative.
Right.
Like what, you know, creating something together and like you being loving with your girlfriends and just seeing that side. Because, you know, women, we need support. And I feel so warm and happy around women. Like I just love having women in the room. And when you are able to create a bond and a friendship, I just think that I value that so much. And I have ever since I was younger. I just didn't always know how to execute that, considering that I had all these other thoughts and ideas of competitiveness. And
yeah, that's true. And I think for us, like for me, even at church, like all the families were competing for like whose daughter gave the best like comment in church and who like was the cutest and who did them. Like everybody was always comparing everybody to everybody instead of bringing us closer together. It was a constant competition, even in a place like church. But I think it's just like something that's in our culture also. And so, you know, having to untangle that kind of wiring has been really, really helpful. Yeah. But also it helps me be there for other women and let my guard down so that they too can let their guard down and be like, oh, wow, this is the real deal. You know, this is what a real friend does. And she does this because she really actually cares about me. She loves me and she wants the best for me. Yeah.
And there's nothing like having a true, honest woman friend that you just love, that you trust completely, that you can be yourself with. I think that's so invaluable.
Yeah, that can always remind you of what you've overcome, that this situation is temporary, that you're gonna make it out of this. You've made it out of all your other challenging times just fine, and we're here for you no matter what happens. And everybody goes through their ups and downs, but you know, it's these types of friendships that can help us get through it. And we're not meant to do it alone. We're really not.
So if you, like us, grew up watching novelas and learning about venganza, and maybe if you're having a hard time connecting with other women and people in general, you can start by watching the show and building a friendship with us through the content that we're teaching you. Yes. And then hopefully you're able to open up that space to allow lovely and warm friendships among your girlfriends. Yeah.
And then stop looking for people to, you know, to compare, or people expecting people to do you wrong. Like if you're looking for support and love and friendships, you're going to see that and you're going to get that. And if you're looking for something bad, that's also what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. So being aware of what you're putting out, you know, that's what you're going to get back. Mm-hmm. And your vibe really does attract your tribe. And so, you know, if somebody's vibe is not good and it's draining you, like be mindful and don't spend as much time with them, and really, protect your energy, because it's so important to be around people who energize you and really help you feel like you're worthy.
Start seeing the best in people and verbalize to them and let them know how much you appreciate them, what they mean to you, because it also allows them to see that you're seeing the best in them. And so that's a great start.
Oh, that's such a great start. I love that. And I think that's a perfect note to leave it on. So your tip for today is going to be look for the best in people, look for the best in yourself, and give someone a compliment. Someone you don't know, say something nice to another woman, another guy, whatever it might be. But yeah, just start spreading the love and tell us all about it.
Good luck, and make sure that you message us and keep following at Hoy Tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks, bye.